Hello everybody and welcome back to the Amelie Maran Podcast. Today I'm joined with Sabah from HushHush Podcast.
Hi.
Today I thought we could talk about kind of the working holiday visa and everything about it, kind of talking through your process as well, how you've found it. So introduce yourself, tell us about you.
I have a podcast called the HushHush Podcast where we share people's anonymous secrets. We've just been recording. I've just had Amelie as a guest and it was really fun. We shared loads of travel secrets.
It was very juicy.
So I'm excited for you guys to hear those.
And the way, actually, I feel like we should say how we kind of met, because technically we've met today in person.
Yeah, the first time today.
Yeah, but we've been talking, how long has it been? It must be a month.
It's been a while, yeah. It's been a few weeks because I started my podcast and then I needed my co-host just abandoned ship. So I was like, I need someone to come on as a guest. Yeah. So I put out a message in the Working Holidays Facebook group and I was like, does anyone want to do guests? And Amelie was like, yeah, I'm starting a podcast as well. And I was like, this is perfect. Yeah. Go through the journey together.
Yeah.
Literally. And then we've just been talking since then and we've scheduled some times, but then I wasn't ready and then but
we've finally done it today. I'm really excited for both of these episodes to come out as well.
Yeah,
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, and I've moved to Melbourne probably about 9 months ago now. Yeah. So very similar to Amelie because you just moved. Yeah. 2 months ago. So I had I actually didn't even ask you what the topics were today. I was like, yeah, I'll come on.
No questions have been shared beforehand. But yeah, because you are on a work holiday visa, aren't you? And so you moved 9 months ago, and was that from the UK or
it was from the
traveling
UK.
Or
no, so we did little bits of travel. We did America, and then we did Thailand, and then we just kind of saved some money, and then we were we were looking to move to Bali actually, on a digital nomad visa, but then we just couldn't find the right jobs, so then we were like, let's just go to Australia, and then here we are 9 months later.
Yeah. I guess to kind of get started, if you could maybe explain what the working holiday visa is and why you kind of applied. I know you said you were actually thinking of Bali, but what was the switch? Why Melbourne? What kind of happened?
We were looking for remote jobs because when we were traveling to Thailand. So when I say we, this is me and my boyfriend. When we were traveling in Thailand, we were working remotely and we were digital nomads, and it was amazing. We loved it. So we were we want to do that again, but with better jobs, because the jobs we were doing at the time, we weren't enjoying that much, and the pay was it was part-time hours. Okay. So we were working 20 hours a week, 25 hours a week, something like that. Yeah. So we were okay, we want to get proper good jobs and then do it, and then that would be our dream. It's just finding remote jobs is actually really hard. Yeah. So then we were okay, if we don't have a job in remote jobs we gave ourselves a date. I think it was September or something. We don't have it by September, then we're just going to go to Australia. Okay. And there was not really much planning. We literally just decided we were going to go to Australia. We applied for the easiest visas, which was the working holiday visa. And then we just showed up. We had done no research.
That's amazing.
We came to Melbourne because one of my friends said that I would love Melbourne, so we came to Melbourne. There was no thought process behind it. Yeah. And then we just turned up and we've just been winging it the entire time.
I love it.
That's all we've done.
And the visa in itself as a process, what was that like for you? Did you find it easy getting the visa, or did it come through quickly? Because lately there's been so many delays for people.
Yeah, I have seen that. Ours came through within 3-4 hours.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, we got it pretty much instantly. We applied and we paid and we literally got it a few hours later.
Oh, beaut. That's amazing.
I think my boyfriend got his, so his name's Lewis. He got his through within 2 hours or something, and then I think mine took a bit longer, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna get approved. He's gonna have to go without me. I'm what's gonna happen? And then it came through an hour later. I was like, okay, well, I was being dramatic.
Fair. And what were the first weeks when you moved here? Like, what was there any like culture shock, or like obviously getting a job? Like, did you have the remote job lined up, or
no? So we had nothing lined up. We came here. My friend who I was referring to earlier.
Yeah.
We went and moved in with her and her dad out in the burbs in Mulgrave.
Okay.
That's where we were living. When we first got here, we were just like, oh my God, we were just like really excited.
Yeah.
And our friend was like taking us to go get a SIM card. And then we were like, we want to see some kangaroos.
Yeah.
And we just, and we were like going out with her friends. So
Okay.
we were pretty much just going out all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, we didn't have a job lined up. We didn't have an apartment lined up.
Yeah.
Apartment, as the Aussies say.
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't have anything lined up. We literally just came here and we just...
And how did you feel like arriving? Were you a bit overwhelmed, or were you guys just sort of like, let's just see what happens? Like, fuck it?
We were just excited. We were just like excited to be here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we weren't really overwhelmed. We were just like, yeah,
just say yes to everything, just go for it. Were there any unexpected challenges, you would say? I'm going to say like unpleasant and pleasant challenge, or like surprises.
So in terms of when we first got here, or just like setting up life here?
I feel like, yeah, when you arrived, and then any that kind of came up whilst you were trying to build
I
up.
would say, none of my Australian friends look at this, please. Listen to this. Cover your ears. Australians are so cliquey, in my opinion.
Okay. I have heard this. I actually have.
Australians are very cliquey. So one of the hardest things when we first got here was meeting like loads of Australian people, because we have Australian friends.
Right.
So when we first got here, they naturally like invited us to their parties.
Yeah,
and,
they
like,
take you
things
in.
like that. Yeah. So like if I met someone, I'd be like, oh my God, how long have you been here? Have you been doing
tell
this?
me everything.
Have you been here yet? If you haven't, let me take you there. You must not know anyone.
Yeah.
Let's do this together. Whereas they were more like, they don't want to like form connections as much as other
Okay, that's
Europeans.
interesting. Yeah.
I think they just don't need connections, and it's not like a negative on them.
Yeah.
It's more that they have their friendship group, like I said, cliquey, like they have their friendship group and they don't need anything else, and they have really full social lives. Like a lot of Australians, because they live in the city that they live in, and then they go to school, then they go to college, and then they go to university, all in the city they grew up in. Right. Because Australians don't move away for university, and they don't live away from home. So they'll... Yeah, like they don't... It's like not common.
Okay, fair.
Whereas in the UK...
In the UK, it's like standard.
Yeah, and in Europe, like you turn 18, you move away and you go to uni. Whereas here, like, that's not a thing. Like, you stay in your hometown.
Okay.
And even if you do move away for uni, you then go back to your hometown on the weekends. But most people don't, most people don't, like, not many people do that.
Yeah,
I think, like, like, it's, like, weird if you do that.
Yeah,
Whereas for us, it's, like, the other way around.
Well, because usually in the UK, you have... Like, you might be from Manchester and go to uni in London, or vice versa. And
here
you go home when you can. You can't always go home. But if everyone here lives at home,
yeah, and everyone here lives at home. And, like, no one lives on campus. Like, that's not a thing you do. Like, only international students, like, you know, like, from Asia and, like, places like that, then they'll live on campus. But, no, that's not normal. So, like, they kind of have their, like, group.
Do you think it's because Australia's so... big? Is it kind of a security thing? I don't know. I feel like it's very different saying I live in Melbourne, I'm going to uni in Sydney. That is pretty far away. I mean, obviously in the UK in the UK you can be like living away from home at uni like 5 hours away, 10 hours away if you go up to Scotland.
Yeah, because I even know like some friends who go to uni in different countries, I think it's just not the norm, to be honest. Like I think it's just not something that people think about doing. Like I think like if you go to a especially if you live in Melbourne, like you're in one of the biggest cities in Australia. Yeah. And there's loads of universities here. Like I think it literally just isn't what you would do. Yeah, I think it's like they don't even do it intentionally. Like of course they don't do it intentionally, but like if there's like a new person, they don't have the immediate like, oh my God, who's this new person? Like I'd love to meet them. They're just like, oh, who's this new person? Like, kind of, you know what I mean?
You're coming in my space.
Yeah, like it's more like, oh, who's this? Like they're a bit like wary of you because they're just not used to it. It's like a weird barrier to get across. Yeah. So that's when we came, we were a bit like, oh, this is different. because we're just like so open and so friendly.
Yeah.
And
well,
they
also,
are
you
as
have
well,
to be a
but-
social butterfly moving over here. Like,
Yeah,
you want to
exactly.
speak to everybody. You want to find your own friends. Yeah.
Or like even at home, like if I met someone at a party and we got on really well, I would just add them on Instagram and then I'd invite them to my ex party.
Yeah.
Or I would like be like, do you want to meet up for a drink? Do you want to go
Yeah.
do this? And that would be so normal. Whereas people here, they like, if they meet someone at a party, they won't even necessarily like even ask them to add them on Instagram.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's so interesting.
It is different.
You just need to find people, it sounds like. You just need to find people in the same boat as you.
Yeah, pretty much. And like, I think they're just used to making new connections.
We all need
So
friends.
yeah, they're just more open to it. But that is the biggest thing that I was like, whoa, this is different. I've met this person one time. Why are they not in love with me? Like why?
And what were the pleasant surprises? Like, was there anything that you were kind of like, oh, I'm quite glad that that's happened,
Yes.
or that's here, or...
Sushi rolls. Love sushi rolls. They're so good.
Before moving out to Melbourne, all my TikTok was, you have to try Melbourne sushi.
They're
Everybody's
so
obsessed
good.
with sushi.
It's 'cause they're so
Everybody loves
cheap.
it. Where are people going? Because
You haven't been?
No, because down the road from me, it's all so expensive for a sushi
What?
roll. Where am I living?
How much is your sushi rolls?
They're like $4.
So yeah, there's
Or is that just the price and I'm being picky?
no, that is quite expensive. Like you want like the $2 one.
Yeah,
like
but that's what I thought. I
$3,
thought the
yeah.
amount that people buy, like the quantity of sushi people buy on
Yeah.
TikTok, I'm like, it can't be that expensive because everybody's
Yeah, no,
eating it
it's
all the
cheap.
time.
Yeah, like I would just get like 2 sushi rolls for lunch and they'll be like $5. But it
Oh
depends.
my god, where are you shopping? I need this.
It depends. You have like sushi, which are like set prices because they have them everywhere.
Okay.
But yeah, no, the sushi rolls have been the
I will
best.
have to seek this out. Let's move on to like talking about your travels because you've traveled quite a lot,
Yeah, I would say I've done a
Quite a
fair bit
few-
of traveling.
quite a few places. What is one of your favorite travel experiences, either in Australia or elsewhere?
Probably Vegas
Okay.
was my favorite travel
Nice.
place because you kind of go there and you're like, you just don't really know what to
It's
expect.
like a fever dream.
Yeah, like I went there for one of my best friend's weddings. I was a bridesmaid at her wedding, so she was getting married to an American man. And yeah, we all flew out, like, it was like 50 of us in total. We all
Oh
flew
my God,
out
love
to
it.
Vegas for her wedding. Just landing in America. This is the first time I've been to America as well.
Yeah.
Because we did the wedding first and then we like continued traveling after. But just landing in America and just like everything's so American. Like my boyfriend even got randomly selected. I was like, that is so American. And just like looking around and like the shops look like cartoons.
Yeah.
Like the shop signs.
And it's all huge. When you're coming from the
everything's
UK,
so big.
even the roads
Yeah,
in
the
itself
roads are so big.
are massive.
The cars are massive.
Yes.
Like your average
100%.
car is just so big.
Yeah.
And like chunky. Which
They all have their pickup trucks.
yeah. And
Yeah.
like then going into Vegas obviously was also like, what is this place? It was like an adult's playground. It was so crazy. Like the way like everything, all the hotels are like themed. There was like castles.
Would you
and-
recommend Vegas?
Oh my god, 100%.
And would you say like holiday or travel?
Holiday.
Okay.
It's not.
Don't go
I mean-
for a long period of time. Keep it short and sweet.
Yeah, well, all there is to do in Vegas is, well, there's loads of stuff to do, but you're there to spend money. Like, you need
Okay.
to take quite a bit of money. Unless you're a group of girls and you kind of go there and you get all the promo tables and stuff. Like, you
Okay.
could probably get by for a group of girls but not spending much.
Really?
Yeah, because there'll be like guys who just want to.
Oh, they wanna buy you drinks
and
and
they'll buy you
stuff.
drinks and like
Yeah.
they just want you in the club looking pretty. So
Okay.
like you can kind of drink for free.
yeah.
It's just a crazy place.
Yeah.
Like I would just always remember it so fondly because we were just like a big bunch of adults just like running around. We did like a scavenger hunt.
Oh, that's cool.
And like, yeah, it was just really fun. You know, you just like gambling. You feel like you're in a film. You're like, oh my god, me gambling my like $5. Trying to learn my. I like kept getting told off by the blackjack person for like
Oh,
doing
why?
things wrong. So you can't like touch the table and like
Oh.
you can't pull anything on the table and
Why?
you can't. So it's like illegal. Like there's like
Oh.
rules against it. Yeah, because like I don't really know, but there's loads
Someone
of like
let
rules.
us know. Why is it illegal?
Yeah, because I think because like some very high roller people come. Yeah, like there's just certain rules and things you can't do. Like you can't put your elbow on the table. I think it's like because you can't it's illegal to card count.
Yeah.
To like cheat.
Yeah.
And some people who go, like some of these people are like gangsters and stuff. I don't know. And they're like scary. Like they'll be like gambling like 200k at like a time. Yeah, there's like a high roller section that's like gated off.
Jesus.
And you can only go in there if you're like betting over 50k. And
oh my god.
yeah, and we were like there. I was like looking at them and I was like,
whoa.
And you also get free drinks while you're gambling. So what we did, we like gambled like $10 and then we just got loads of cocktails. And then like it was actually cheaper than just buying them. That's it. That's a good tip.
Have you travelled around Australia at all, or have you just been in Melbourne?
I haven't. So we've arrived and we've just been in Melbourne. We've just been saving money. We had a very busy summer. Yeah. Just like we went, all the places around Melbourne, like an hour from Melbourne here and there. We've done that, but yeah, we're actually going to start doing that in the next month or so. But yeah,
I feel like that's pretty common with work holiday people. They either do all the travel first, or they do all the work first and then travel at the end. Because like there's some places you could go where you go for like a weekend. Like from here, you could definitely fly to Sydney for like a weekend or something.
Sydney's quite a short flight.
Yeah, to actually explore maybe, like do things like the Great Ocean Road and I don't know,
so
the kind
far.
It's not like a quick little trip where you can just like come back.
It's like a 4-hour flight to like Uluru, so I was trying to do a weekend trip to Uluru. Yeah, it's really far.
I didn't know that.
It's like 3 hours and like 3 hours and 40 minutes or something.
Oh my god, Australia's really massive.
It is.
That's like the UK to Greece.
I know.
Oh my god.
We had like it was a public holiday weekend and we were like, okay, let's go away for the weekend.
Okay.
And then we didn't want to go to Sydney because it was, at the time, it was like cold in Sydney. And then we were like, where would we go? We looked at all the flights and none of them were close. And we were like, oh, okay.
It's not like a quick...
can't do a weekend trip like you do in
the UK.
In Europe.
Yeah, I get what you mean. So yeah, where would you want to travel then in Australia?
100% like Cairns and like I want to do Great Barrier Reef.
Okay.
Yeah, that's on the bucket list. We were meant to go earlier in the year, but we got freaked out by stinger season.
Oh.
Have you heard of stinger season?
No, I have not. Tell me all.
So it's box
that
jellyfish.
Sounds terrifying.
Yeah, that can like kill you in 5 minutes. And we got like really paranoid about it. So.
Oh yeah.
And it was like the peak of stinger season. And we just
they come up on the shore? Like they come
They're
quite
just
close?
everywhere. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like people, like it's like an actual like threat getting stung by. Australians listening to this are probably like, calm down. But I was really scared. I was like reading about them. People get like airlifted from like
my god,
their boats that they were on because they've been stung.
So what, their sting is so strong they can kill you?
Yeah, they kill. You can get killed if it's near your vital organs. You can get killed within 5 minutes, and you have to wear stinger suits. So you have to wear like these big lycra suits to stop you from getting stung.
Wait, where is this? Sydney?
Great Barrier Reef.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What?
And it was like peak stinger season, and we were like, I mean, it probably would have been fine, but we were like, we just really don't want to get stung. Like, we'd rather just go towards the end of stinger season.
Yeah.
Like, where it's still clear.
When is stinger season then?
It's like during, I think it's like December to May. It's like during the summer. It's summer, yeah. Because it's warm, so they will like come up.
Fair.
And my friends' parents are marine biologists. So I was freaking out and I was like, you know what? I know who's going to know the real answer to this. So I messaged them.
Just harassing them.
I was like, hey, I've got loads of questions for you. And because he does research projects in Australia. So I was like, he's going to know. And then they were like, oh yeah, no, it's really bad. You should wear a stinger suit. And they were just like, just make sure you wear a stinger suit, you'll be fine. So you will be fine, but...
What's a stinger suit? Like a thick wetsuit?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a massive like lycra suit that you have to wear. And you like can't go in like the water like without, like they won't like if you went on a tour, they won't let you go in the water without one.
Oh, okay.
But you can still get stung through them.
Oh!
Yeah.
So what's the point in them?
Well, it won't be as bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But people have got stung through their stinger suits.
Oh, I see.
But it protects your like if you get stung like here,
you're
like,
screwed.
You're done.
I've never heard of this.
Have you not?
No.
Yeah, no,
I know they have jellyfish, but like...
No, they're really bad. There's like 2 types as well. There's box jellyfish, which are like the bad ones. Yeah, then there's another one which are like this big, and they can like, go through nets and bays. So like they're quite dangerous.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will keep a lookout. I know, I was going to ask, like, any memorable stories from travelling? Like, has there been a certain night out that you've loved? An encounter even with Australian wildlife? I don't know, seeing kangaroos and stuff.
Yeah, like, I wish I could have had more encounters with the wildlife.
You don't in Melbourne though, do you?
Yes,
because you're in the city.
Really, like, we've met some kangaroos back in Wilson's prom. We've met some possums.
Oh, I've seen possums. Oh my God, they're terrifying.
Yeah, in the
they're
suburbs,
huge.
they're everywhere.
Yes, we were having dinner. I was out for dinner with my friend. It was the first time I'd seen her because she lives in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm from the UK. It was the first time seeing her. And we go out for dinner. A possum just jumps onto the table, starts trying to eat our food.
Weird.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the servers.
Normally they don't come near you.
This is the thing. I was like, what is going on? I'd never seen a possum
weird.
as well, so I didn't know it was a possum. And then I'm going to the servers, like, can you get this thing off our table? Like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And they actually were like, no, we have to leave them because
they're
this
like
is
protected.
this is their land. And I was like, no, I don't want you to kill it. I just want you to get it off my food. I don't
I like
understand.
how I immediately assume that. They're like, oh, we can't kill it. Like,
yeah, I was like, no, please don't kill it. But I just want to eat my pasta in peace. It was really strange. It was a pasta place in Collingwood, and
that is so weird.
I do get it because they're obviously protected, but like they are scary. They're they are.
I think
terrifying.
they're so cute. See, in when I was living in Mulgrave in the suburbs, they're like everywhere. Like you'll see loads. So on our first night when we were here, we were like, oh my God, it's a possum. And I thought they were really cute. I quite like them. But we found a wolf spider once.
What's that?
It's like,
I'm assuming poisonous and
it's like a
not
really
nice
poisonous spider. We were house sitting and we
it was in the house.
No, it wasn't in the house. It was like, you know, like the balcony, like going out. It was like in the like, it was like underneath the house, but like on the edge, like it had not a wolf spider, a funnel web spider, and it had like a funnel web, like it was like a funnel web, and we could see it. And we took like a photo of it, and then you could just see its little beady eyes like in the middle of.
No, I would be burning that fucking house down. No.
Yeah, no, it was actually not good. But apparently the ones in Melbourne aren't that poisonous. I don't know. So
yeah, I mean, when I've asked my friend, her family live like outside, kind of in the more countryside area of Melbourne, and they were saying that's where you'd find wildlife, like the snakes and the spiders. You're not going to find them in the city because there's nowhere for them to really go.
Not really. Yeah, this was in the suburbs as well.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of brings me to my next question of like, were there any cultural differences you've noticed since moving here? Things like food or any slang, anything where you've just had to kind of adapt to that culture?
Let me think about that. There definitely is. Yeah, like slang. Yeah.
The slang's very different here.
The slang's really different.
And what they call things is very, very different.
Oh, the one thing I find so annoying, which makes no sense to me, is the fact that they call all sweets lollies.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, so they call say chocolate, they'd call it, so I was on my phone to my friend, she's Australian, and I was like, do you want anything from the shop? And she said, what lollies have they got? And then I go to like the Chopper Chop.
Yeah, I'm thinking Chopper Chop.
They've got cola, they've got strawberry, and she's like, no, sweets, like chocolates and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, because then I remembered like they call it lollies. Yeah, they call it lollies. And also when I was working at Seek.
That's so weird.
Like the Seek building over in Cremorne. When I was working there, they have my boss was telling me, like just before I did the interview, she was like, oh yeah, they have a lolly stand. And I was like, oh, that's so random. They have like just lollies, like loads of lollipops. I was like, there must be so many lollipops.
Yeah.
And they meant lolly as in like sweets, which is pretty cool. They have like loads of chocolates and things like that. But there definitely is so more than that little one. For
me, it's the chicken palms. Like having a palmer. I don't even know what it's called.
Oh my God, I love palmers.
I have never seen that before, heard of that before. And we had one the other day.
They're so good though, right?
They're really tasty, but they're so filling. And people will get like a full wrap of this. And like when we were served I also found out it's like controversial what you call it. It's like a palmer or a palmy. I don't know which is
I have heard that,
acceptable. I can't remember.
I like calling it a palmer.
Yeah, I don't come for me
because it makes sense.
I don't know what it's called. I'm going to say palmer, but it comes with like, it's like chips. The chicken Kiev, you've got the cheese melted on top, then you've got the bits of ham, then you've got the chips and a salad. The chicken palm...
tomato sauce as well.
Yeah, and like the chicken in itself is so filling.
It is.
And then you've got to have these chips and the salad. I was like, this is like a whole...
It's so good though. I love the chicken parmas.
I haven't had one. Sam had one.
Oh, you haven't had one?
No.
Oh my God, you need to have one.
I need to have one.
You need to have one.
But also how many variations there are of them.
There's so many. So like the traditional one...
It's not like one dish. Like it's a whole...
Yeah, there's so
whole
many.
thing.
The traditional one is just chicken, tomato sauce, and then cheese.
Okay.
But like loads of pubs, they'll do like... I don't know, they'll just
There's
have like
like
loads
spicy
of
one, like add pepperoni, add this.
Sometimes they've got nachos on top and stuff. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Oh, okay. I need to christen myself.
It is good. I'm trying to think of other like cultural things. I'm trying to think of slang. I just can't think of any slang words right now.
The whole flip flop, calling them thongs.
Thongs. Oh yeah, that was quite funny.
That's a bit. And to a UK ear, that is very, very strange. Like,
yeah, like, I know what they're talking about, but in my mind, I'm like kind of giggling. They say like true after everything. They're like, oh, true, true, and I'm like,
and the shortening of words, like
arvo,
arvo threw me for one. I did not know what that was.
I was confused.
Someone said like, I'll see you in the arvo, and
I thought it meant evening.
I didn't even know afternoon. What it was. I was like, what the fuck is an arvo? Like,
well, like ute. You know what ute is? You know, in the UK, ute is like a young kid.
I was going to say youth. Yeah, is it like the young people?
No, so a ute here is like, you know, those like massive big trucks that people have.
Yeah.
Like the ones with like the train in the back. That's like a ute. Like a big like a workies truck.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like what they call a ute. So they'll be like, oh yeah, like he's got a big ute.
He's got a big ute. What?
And then eshe.
What's that?
It's like a chav or like a chava.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bogan. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Is that like a rude word?
I don't know.
I learned
have
that
no
one.
idea.
Maybe I won't put that
I think it's rude if you like
to call. It's like an adjective, like you call someone.
Yeah, I think it's like calling someone a chav. Like you wouldn't you wouldn't say to them, "Oh, are you a chav?" Because they'd be like,
"Well, you don't do that in the UK." Like, that's a bit weird.
It's the same. It's the same thing as that. Like you wouldn't, but you would refer to them as like a bogan.
My friend said it.
I think it's fine to talk about because Australians talk about bogans all the time.
No, but that's the thing. Like she was saying it, and I was like going along with it. Like, yeah, I know what that means, and then eventually it got to the point where I was like, okay, wait, I have no clue what that...
But you don't know what a bogan is?
Like, I didn't get what that was. I've never heard of that word before. But I get it now.
You know now? Okay,
yeah,
okay. I was about to give you the whole description. But do you know what an eshe is?
No. Like, I'm learning. I've asked you what slang you know, and I'm learning all this slang.
So an eshe is like a chava, like a chav. Like, apparently they come up to you and they go like, eshe, and then they rob you. So I was at the bar the other day.
Is it like derogatory? No.
Yeah. Like don't call someone an eshe. Oh, okay. And don't ask someone, oh, you're an eshe. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You can't even say it jokingly.
I don't know though. Like, I just can't see a scenario where you would say that.
Keep it safe.
Yeah, just don't
say that.
Because if they are, then apparently they might stab you. I don't know.
And have you got any recommendations for a must? I mean, apart from obviously the chicken palm and the sushi, but must visit places in Australia,
in Melbourne,
or in Melbourne.
Oh my god, you have to go to Green Cup and get the smoothies.
Green Cup.
I'm just obsessed with their smoothies.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh
well, like they're all healthy, like
the acai bowls and smoothies in Australia are amazing, especially Green Cup in Melbourne.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with their smoothies and yochi. Have you had yochi yet?
I have seen this everywhere.
I love yochi. Honestly, I don't know how I'm going to cope in the UK over Christmas without yochi. I probably go every other week.
I see it all over TikTok, people being like, what I made in yochi, like you can
god,
customize.
I'm obsessed
what
with
is
yochi.
It like frozen
it's just
yogurt?
Frozen yogurt. You have to go. I can't believe you haven't been yet. You have to
is
go.
It like what do they call it in the UK? Isn't the company called like Snog or something?
I don't think we have it in the UK. It's like a fully Aussie.
No, like frozen yogurt.
Oh,
isn't there one called Snog?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
We don't have one in Brighton in the UK, so I wouldn't know.
I swear in London I've seen like vans where they do frozen yogurt.
Yeah, I feel like in London they'd probably have a few places.
Yeah.
They're so good. Everyone loves yochi. There's like queues like outside, like down the street on like a Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is like a proper thing.
Yeah, no, everyone
I thought it was like
a
TikTok thing.
No. People love yochi. My Australian friend from Melbourne would not shut up about yochi in the UK. And we were just like, like, how is this place that good? And then she took us here, and we were obsessed. It's just so, I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they put in that stuff.
So where would you say, kind of moving away from Australia, where would you say was your favourite place that you've travelled to?
That is so hard. That's such a hard
question.
Okay,
give me a top 3.
Greece, Spain, Barcelona, and then it would have to be Vegas. I know I've already said that. But it was just so much fun. I just loved it. It was so good.
Kind of want to also talk about, obviously on a working holiday visa, like you're leaving home, you're leaving friends at home. Yeah. It can be quite overwhelming. How have you kind of managed your friendships with the people that are still back in the UK? And like, do you talk to your family a lot? Like, what's your main way of kind of maintaining those relationships?
Yeah, that's one's actually like, being from the UK, you move away for university. Yeah. And then you like kind of go back, and then you go traveling. Like, you're kind of used to being away from your family, I would say. So it wasn't really much of like a struggle with my family. I've got younger siblings, and they grow quite quickly, and they're a little bit like, you know, they miss me a lot. And when I FaceTime them, I'm like, you look so different. Yeah. So that's going to be nice to see them when I go back home. But I've actually moved to Barcelona before. Like, I lived in Spain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I've kind of experienced the whole moving away thing before. So with Australia, it was a bit more sad because I knew it would be, I can't just hop on a 40-pound EasyJet flight and go home.
It's like a whole thing.
Yeah, like it's like a whole 24 hours of traveling. Yeah. It was really sad, but I'm actually not very good with keeping in contact with people. I'm actually the worst.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm so bad.
You're a bad texter. Like a bad caller.
Yeah, I never call people. They'll like book in with me, and then I'll forget. And then I'm like, oh my God, I was meant to call that person. Mainly, I just send them voice notes on Instagram. Yeah. It's actually really good. If you cannot find the time to call someone, have a voice note conversation over Instagram. Sounds really silly, but honestly, it's like you're having a phone conversation.
Yeah, I've heard this. Like, I spoke about it in a previous episode as well. Like, just do like a mini podcast for your friend.
Yeah,
and just
pretty much.
Update them on what's going on. Because also being in Australia, like, the time difference.
Oh my God, the time difference is so hard.
And so if I need to call someone and be like, oh, I want to celebrate this, or like, oh, this has happened, you can't if they're back home. Yeah. So doing the whole voice note thing, yeah, I 100% recommend.
It is really hard because I think your genuine friends will always be in touch with you, and they won't care that you haven't spoken to them in months. Yeah. Like one of my best friends who's I was referring to earlier, we went to our wedding in Vegas. Like, she lives in America, and I never really talk to her, but I'll always see what she's doing on social media, and I'll always be like replying to stories. I'll always be like keeping her updated with things, and I'll just send her updates, and sometimes she doesn't even read them. But like, I know, like, you just have to know that it's normal to not always be like, don't stress about being like, oh my God, like, I need to keep up with this person, otherwise they're not going to be my friend anymore, because like, if they're actually your friend, they're not going to do that.
And also it's like such a big thing of, actually, I need to step away from that maybe and be a bit more distant because I need to focus on life here. Like,
you also need to be present. Like, you've got new friends around you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I was gonna say. Like, you're trying to focus on finding new friends. Yeah. And if you're constantly trying to keep up with people at home, like every second of every day,
you can't. You're missing out. You literally can't. Yeah. Like, there's no way I could keep up with my friends up home. Yeah. And which is fine. Like, they're still going to be my friends when I go back home. Yeah. And I get to have the full rundown of what they've been doing. Yeah. Which I'm really excited for, but it's so normal to not. Like, I FaceTime my mum once. I'm really bad though. Like, a lot of other people are actually really good at keeping up with friends. I'm terrible. All my friends know this. Like, they'll message me and say, I miss you. And I'm like, 5 working days later.
It sounds like you have like a mutual kind of trust as well of like, this isn't personal, I'm not ignoring you, it's just I'm getting on with life and it's fine.
To be honest, like, all my friends from home, they just know that I'm always going to be their close friend. Like, they don't like necessarily need that constant attention from me. Like, I have pretty solid friendships, and like, they've never once ever complained that I don't. As my friendship group, we all move around so much. Yeah. And like, there's been times where we've all been traveling, and like, we're all pretty much trying to live our life. Like, I've never really felt like I've had to maintain it. Like, I just always know it's going to be there.
And when you've moved abroad, because obviously you just said you moved to Barcelona and moved here, how do you feel that's like impacted you as an individual? Like, I know that sounds a bit deep, but like in terms of like self-confidence, or maybe you feel like you know how to better handle communication with people.
Yeah, I do feel like when I moved to Barcelona was actually probably, that really changed me a lot, because I moved by myself. I didn't know anyone there. Like,
do you speak Spanish?
No, I did try, but I'm not very good.
That's insane. You moved to Spain. Were you confident with the language then, or you were just like,
no, I was here? Yeah, I literally just moved. I don't know Spanish at all. I tried to do lessons though, and I just wasn't.
I love that.
I kept missing them because I kept going out. But my Spanish friends did try and teach me. I know like a few phrases, but I'm not going to embarrass myself. But yeah, I moved there. I didn't know a single soul. Like, literally no one. I didn't even know, like, because also I was 21. So
wow, that's really young.
Like, I didn't know anyone there. I like found my apartment by myself. Me and my friend can speak Spanish. She flew out with me in like a few months before to help me like
to set you up. Yeah.
And
that's so kind.
We saw one flat and we just went out the rest of the time constantly. And then I got that flat because I had no other choice, because that was the only one I had booed. So I was paying like a ridiculous amount for a flat. Like, people in Spain, I was paying 650 euros for a flat.
Is that a
Bills
lot?
included. That's a lot. In Barcelona, rent is quite cheap.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that.
You'd be paying like 500 euros.
Oh god, so you're quite a bit over the...
Yeah, but you know, it was my own fault. But I think it really... I wrote like an assignment on this.
Oh, okay.
About socializing when you're in a new place. When you first get there, you pretty much have... This isn't the case for everyone, but you have to pretty much just put yourself out there as soon as possible, because you can get really comfortable in your like bubble.
Yeah.
And like, you can just get comfortable going to work, coming back from work, staying in by yourself, and then like it's so much harder to mentally go out and put yourself out there in new situations, even if you feel like you're not up to it and you feel like, oh, I'm not feeling social today. Like, obviously if you're really not feeling social, don't go out, but if you're like, oh, I'm not really feeling social today, you have to like just force yourself to go. Because when you first get to a place, those are your like most pivotal like, you know, moments when you first move somewhere. So I really got a lot of confidence doing that, and I knew I had to push myself. Yeah. Because, you know, I like read a journal article in it like a few weeks ago, so I was like, okay, I know what I need to do. And I pretty much met my, like, one of my best friends now, who's still my best friend, like one of my best friends, and on like the first weekend there.
Wow.
And I literally just saw her in a bar, and like I was out for dinner with like this random guy who I met on Facebook. And then I just met her. I was like, hey, like, how are you?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, hi. Like, she was a bit like, oh, like, random person speaking to me. But she was like, oh, but she's nice. So I gained a lot of confidence putting myself out there in very uncomfortable situations. Yeah. I would never
do. Have you found it that it's, like, different because you've moved here with a partner? Do you see there's really differences?
Different. Yeah, really different. I would say it's actually harder moving here with a partner. In some ways. I think it depends on what your personality is like. I think it's harder to build a life because you and your partner, like, you'll go out together. You won't necessarily be, like, looking for other people because you have your partner with you.
Yeah, you're secure.
Yeah, so you're just, like, there, and I think you meet less people because as a single person, you do just naturally meet more people.
Well, like, you have to, otherwise you just go insane.
Yeah.
Like, you're not speaking
there's less
to anyone.
Pressure, I would say. Like, when you're on your own, you have to. Otherwise, you will, like, not have any friends. But when you're with your partner, it's very easy to not because you kind of, like, have that person there.
Yeah.
So I would say it's so much harder with a partner. In comparison, I felt that. But I think we're both quite sociable people anyway. So we kind of went out and made our own friends. You have to really go out and make your own friends. But also just trusting people. Like, I learned to trust people. Okay. I learned to meet someone and just trust that they were, like, a good friend to me. Yeah. And trust them with, like, my personal, like, thoughts.
And like, if it doesn't work out, move on? Or
I was more trusting with opening up to people. Yeah. Because I think when you meet people, you're like a little bit scared to like be personal with them. Yeah. And like, whereas when you move abroad, you don't have anyone to speak to. So you're like, oh,
you
yeah.
have to be.
You're like, oh, yeah, I was finding it really rough recently. And then most likely they would have as well. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
100%.
So I think, yeah, I just learned to trust people a lot more. And then that reflected in my life at home.
Yeah.
Because I then began to open up more to my friends.
Oh,
and like
okay.
trust people more as well.
Yeah.
So I think you just like trust strangers more. Like they have your best interest.
Yeah.
Some people don't, but you know, that's fine.
And we were saying like before we were recording how we feel like girls have it a lot easier meeting new people compared to boys.
I think so.
Because like even us, we met on a Facebook group that's for the working holiday girls, and
yeah, guys don't have that.
I mean, I haven't looked, but I would assume they don't have something like that. And I always find
they do. They have one.
Oh, do they?
But it's
a bit
was
awkward,
actually
though.
my boyfriend's friend who created it. It's very new. They've literally just made it.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's
yeah,
you?
like a week ago. Yeah.
Oh my god, amazing.
There's like 100 people in there, I think. Right
What's
now.
it called?
I think it's like Working Holiday Lads or something.
Oh,
yeah, shout out.
Yeah, shout out. Because we were saying before, like, we find, like, girls have it easier because we can just go grab coffee together, or, oh, I'm getting my nails done, like, does anyone want to come with me? Or,
yeah.
I don't know. And boys don't have that. It's always kind of centered around drinking and, like, let's go get a pint or a schooner together, and some people don't drink, and it's like, how do boys navigate that kind of, hi mate, like, nice to meet you.
Do you want to be friends?
Yeah, like, it's just different, whereas girls are very open and just be like, yeah, I don't really know anyone around here, but
I think we're more...
We'd love to know you. Like,
yeah, I think we're definitely more vulnerable. We're happy to be vulnerable to other girls.
Yeah.
I feel like we're used to dealing with so much shit that we just don't care anymore. We've been through everything.
Mood.
So we don't care if we have to put out a thing and say, hi, I have no friends. Who wants to meet up for a coffee?
Yeah.
And I've seen so many girls do that.
Oh my god, I see it every day on the Facebook group. Everybody's like, just moved here, don't know anybody want to meet up and do this? And I'm like, oh god,
I also think it's harder when you're older.
Really?
Like, when I say older, I mean compared to 18 to like 22, and then 22 upwards, I feel like it's a bit harder. Only because I feel like you just don't have that much awareness, so you don't really care about much when you're younger. So you will just go up to another group of younger people in like a bar and you will become friends.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're a bit older, you have a little bit more like...
You're a bit reserved more.
Yeah, you're a bit more reserved, and you're a bit more like, you know who you'll be friends with.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like when you're younger, you'll be friends with...
Just go up to
a chair. Like, you'll go out on a night out, you'll literally talk to anyone. Like, I feel like you're just like,
Yeah. How do you balance work responsibilities with the desire to explore and enjoy your time abroad?
Oh my god, this is so hard.
Yeah.
I think every person who loves to travel has probably had this. Like, you're just freaking out because you're like, am I meant to be working on my career right now, or should I just focus on traveling?
Do I start a new career because I'm
Do
in
I
a new
start
place?
a new career? Yeah, it's
New
so
era.
hard. Honestly, I'm actually terrible at doing this. I say this. I don't always stick to this because I'm always freaking out. But just put, like, whatever you want to do, just put it out and see what happens.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I really want to get a job doing this, apply to a few jobs. Probably have to apply to a bit more. Apply to loads of jobs. And then if you don't get it, then whatever, forget about it.
Yeah.
Then, like, do something else, then move on to the next thing. For example, an example scenario would be, like, say you want to go to Cannes next week, and then travel there for a month. But then you just get, like, a really well-paid job.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can actually save a lot of money. Then just stay there and save money and then go do Cannes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I
like,
feel it's the priorities.
Yeah.
Because if, I don't know, like, I'd love to go around and travel Australia, for example, but at the moment I've got work that pays well, and if I do it enough will pay me, like, will pay for that trip.
Yeah,
do you know what I
on.
mean? And, like, I can save up, like you were just saying, I can either go travel now and kind of run out of money, or I can go and do the work, which is what we were saying before. Some people come here with the money and then travel, then make back the money, and some people will, like, work for 10 or 6 to like 10 months, I guess, of the work holiday visa, and then go and travel where they want to go. And
yeah, it is really hard though, because you're just like, other people are traveling, and then you're just a bit like, oh, like, which one should I do?
Yeah.
But I think you just need to always appreciate, like, where you are. Like,
Yeah.
you're in Melbourne, you're in a new place.
Yeah.
And you're in a new city.
Yeah, you got to get comfortable first.
Yeah, and then, like, you can just save and go do that trip later. Or if, like, you're like, I need to go travel, then just go travel. Like,
yeah.
It's actually really tricky to balance because you just never know what you're meant to be doing and no one tells you what to do.
And also you can always change your decision. Like if you go traveling and realize, actually, I need to work, I don't have the money, then you just go and settle somewhere. And if you're working, making money, and you're like, but I want to be traveling, then you can just go travel. Like you can just change your mind.
Yeah, I haven't met anyone here who has had a plan and then they've stuck to that plan.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it's changed. Like
100%.
Yeah. Have you really had the Australian experience?
Yeah.
If you haven't had a mental breakdown and changed your plan 20 times, I know. You need to do it.
Okay, I've got a quick fire round where I'm just going to ask you.
Oh my god, okay.
It's only a few, a few.
Okay.
What's your go-to Aussie slang? What's something you say?
How's it go? How you going?
Best beach in Australia?
I actually don't have an answer for this. At the moment, it would be Black Rock Beach near Melbourne, because I haven't been to every beach in Australia, so I wouldn't know.
What's the weirdest thing you've eaten while travelling in general, not just Australia? Like anywhere?
I've had a chicken's heart once.
Where?
I actually don't remember where it was, but I remember eating it. And it was
what,
horrible.
like it's like a cooked, like a steak?
Like a cooked chicken heart. Yeah, it was on like a skewer, like loads of little chicken hearts. And then we just, I'm not the person to eat weird things, by the way. Like, I don't like eating weird things. My friend dared me to do it, so I did.
That's like a pretty wacky thing.
Yeah, but like in general, like if I went to France, I got, escargot, got the snails. I did not eat the snails. I would not eat oysters. I will not eat anything. I will not eat mussels. Like, no, I just can't do it. Like, I won't eat the weird spiders in Thailand. Like, I just won't. It's just so gross to me. I can't. It will make me throw up.
That's so funny.
What was it like?
What was the chicken's heart like?
It was just really tough. It was just really tough.
Well, like
chicken.
rubbery?
Yeah, like really tough. I wouldn't recommend it. It wasn't very good.
Okay, last one. One thing you can't live without when moving to Australia. If you can only bring one thing, apart from like passport, visa, blah, blah, blah.
Oh my God, I actually don't know. I would say my laptop.
It's quite a hard one.
But I feel like laptop is like an essential that you would need anyway.
Oh, I didn't have my laptop travelling, and luckily my friend's dad was going over to the UK.
Yeah, I brought my laptop with me.
Yeah, he brought it back for me because I was dying without my laptop because it has everything on it.
Yeah, you literally need your laptop.
Yeah.
So I would say like that's what came into my mind. So
yeah.
Maybe that will have to be my answer.
Okay, well, that is it. That's all the questions I have for you.
Thanks, that was so much fun.
If anybody's thinking of doing a work holiday visa, like, I would say it's been so much fun. Obviously, you've been here longer than I have, but it's hard. Like, it's not, like we've talked about today.
It's really, really hard. Yeah, like, I don't know why, but no one tells you it's hard before you come over here.
Yeah.
Like, no one says it. Like, I've been pretty lucky with jobs, but I think you need to just not... So I'll go on Instagram, and for some reason, my TikTok algorithm... Sorry, I'm in TikTok, not Instagram. Yeah. My TikTok algorithm has completely changed since being here, and it's really annoying, because I'm like, I want my old TikTok algorithm back. Like, I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing here. And it just loads of people, like, saying how hard the working holiday visa is, but I think you need to just... you have to come and be prepared to work hard to get a job. Yes. But don't think I'm not going to be able to find a job.
No, you have to like manifest that you're going to get a job. You're going to
you have to be really positive.
Yeah, you're going to be fine. Which I think is also, because I can relate when you're talking about coming over here with a partner. Like, I've come here with a partner and we have motivated each other so much and been able to like be the shoulder to lean on if you're like, oh, I didn't get this job or this hasn't happened for me yet.
Yeah.
It's that person keeping the morale up, which I guess if you're on your own can be so difficult.
It can. And also just be open about like, oh, I'm really struggling, because also sometimes people want to help you out as well.
Yes.
And I would say in Australia, networking works, I would say, because in the UK you network you don't really like, I don't know, I feel like you don't really get much return.
Yeah.
But in Australia, if you really network, it actually really works, and you do get jobs through networking. Like, everyone's got a job.
No, 100%.
And also, just be prepared to do the most random jobs.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, 100%.
Just, yeah, like, there's never a time in your life where you're gonna pack mangoes for a job. Like,
yeah,
there's never gonna be a time, like, have you seen the milking cows one?
No.
Oh my god, there's so many like milking cows and stuff. Like,
so random.
it's kind of gross. Like,
oh my god,
I would not milk a cow, but there's so many milking cow jobs.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, there's loads. So just
That's
be
really
prepared to
random.
like just do the most random things.
You gotta
like,
take it as it comes. Take a chill pill and it'll be fine. But obviously, if anybody is wanting to get a work holiday visa, you have any questions, send them in. Just DM me or comment or anything. But I want to say thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me on.
And keep an eye out because we filmed a podcast episode over on Sabah's channel, HushHush.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited for that to come out. It was very juicy.
Yeah. So my podcast is people sending their anonymous secrets. And I basically just read them out and spill the tea.
There was
everyone.
a lot of tea spilt today.
Yeah.
It was insane.
The one that we've just done is travel themed. So there's a
Very
lot of travel
brand.
secrets on there.
Well, I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.